Hey guys, welcome to Palm Tree Elegy. This one today is actually not a poem. It's a short story by Andy Weir, who is let me see, I had his description pulled up right here, off of his website, the best way to describe him. Andy Weir built a two-decade career as a software engineer until the success of his first published novel, The Martian, allowed him to live out his dream of writing full-time. He's a lifelong space nerd and a devoted hobbyist of such subjects of relativistic physics, orbital mechanics, and the history of manned spaceflight. He also mixes a mean cocktail. He lives in California. So that is Andy Weir. He has a whole host of books if you look him up online, and they are most of them, I think, or all of them are science fiction or science fact, depending on what you want to look at or how you want to look at things like that. But I found this one. It's a short story. It's called The Egg, and it actually deals with the concept of reincarnation. And it doesn't, for the sake of my channel and the sake of where I present things or how I present things, I'm not for or against anybody's religion, and I don't speak to or against anything like reincarnation or resurrection or anything like that. This is just the theory of an intelligent human is to be able to take all these different ideas and all these different concepts and to be able to weigh them without judgment, which is what I do. I go around and I look at all these things and I weigh them without judgment of how they could affect different things or different people or how we could work them through our lives and do other things. That is the entire point of philosophy, is it not? We take things and we take concepts and we weigh them against our own experiences or life experiences of other people and how they can hurt or hinder us or help us or whatever the case may be. So this is actually called The Egg by Andy Weir, and this one is on the concept of reincarnation. And I thought this was, of all the things I've studied, this one is the most succinct and simply put in a short story, and I just had to share it. The Egg. You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident, nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and two children. It was a painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. Wait, what happened? You asked. Where am I? You died, I said matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yep, I said. I I died? Yep, but don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies, I said. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place? You asked. Is this the afterlife? More or less, I said. Are you God? You asked. Yep, I replied. I'm God. My kids? My wife, you said? What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died, and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman, some vague authority figure, maybe, more of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will secretly be relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. If it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, you said. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven or hell or something? Neither, I said. You'll be reincarnated. Ah, you said. So the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, I said. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So what's the point then, you asked? When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So my experiences and everything I did in this life won't matter. Not so, I said. You have within you all the knowledge and experience of all your past lives. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put in a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experience it had. You've been in a human body for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point to do that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. And into lots of different lives, I said. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait, what? You stammered. You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically, time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from, you said? Oh, sure, I explained. I come from somewhere else, and there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So what's the point of it all? Seriously, I asked. Seriously, you're asking me for the meaning of life. Isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everybody else? There's no one else, I said. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth, all you, different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said, with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human who've ever lived or who will ever live. I said that wrong. I'm every human being who ever lived or who will ever live. Yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln and you're John Wilkes Booth too, I added. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus, and you're everyone who followed him. You felt silent. Every time you victimized someone, I said, you were victimized yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment every ever experienced by any human was, you thought for a long, you, every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why, you asked? Why do all this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Whoa, you said, incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, you said, it's just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way. I love this description for all the different people I've read and all the different things I've looked at and talked about, and people contemplate what is this and where are we going and what's the point and all these different things. And I think this one, if nothing else, it teaches us about projection and mirroring, right? And even in the Bible, do unto others as you would have do unto you. So it's projection and mirroring. What you put in the universe comes back to you. What you do in this life comes back to you either in this life or in another life, right? And we laugh it off and call it karma and everything else. But it really is true. The energy that we give off to ourselves and to other people, somewhere along the lines, it always comes back. And honestly, my own theory of reincarnation is I have reincarnated myself tenfold in this lifetime. You don't have to die to reincarnate. You don't have to leave this plane to do over again and start over again and build from those experiences and to reflect and mirror from the people that you're around and the people that you're interacting with. There are just different ways that when we pull back and take all the blinders off and all the biases that we get from our own experiences and hearing other experiences or what's indoctrinated into us from school or modern science or ancient science or our religions or what we're afraid of to look into in someone else's religions or what mom and dad and grandpa just will not let you look at because that's just sacrilegious. And the truth of it is, if God or the creator or whoever you want to say put that on this earth as someone else's experience, it is not bad to look into something else. Doesn't say you have to follow it, but it does say that it's there as a gift for us to look into and to consider that there are other perspectives and lives and ways. And the humans and the human possibilities and all the things that come in the human experience is as vast as the stars in the sky. And every single one of those lives and dies too. And that is so heartfelt the way that I see and just contemplate this short story. I hope you can look back on it. I will post it on the Facebook page and I'll put the link to the actual writing so you can look online if you want to go back through and think of it yourself and just think about, you know, how powerful are you? How powerful is your soul and your spirit? Not necessarily this body you're in, but that mind above the minds, that gift that we've been given to be able to think and process and see and pull out of ourselves and see it in a different perspective. That's your question for today. How powerful are you really? And and do you understand that there is just no limit to who you are? I love you. We'll catch you next time. Keep on rocking.